What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 79. We started today's episode off on the back of the season opener with our new team Juventus for season 5, where as you would have seen, our budget of 250 million, we've added to it the sales of Renan Lodi for 65 mil to Bayern Munich, Ordero to Osasuna, and of course Morgan Rogers going to Getafe. Now rises our budget up to around 320 mil. We brought in two new players, Bernardi, the young Italian free agent, and of course Ricky coming in at 84 overall as well. But in today's episode, guys, it's just shy of 18 minutes, and it's a transfer special. A pure transfer special as we begin the rebuild today. Guys, hope you enjoy it. But also, I do want to say real briefly, guys, if you notice a difference in my voice in this episode, the last episode as well, I do apologise. Not only am I a little bit under the weather, but I was also got an ear infection as well. So I don't think I've ever had an ear infection before. But I didn't think it was gonna be as sore as this. And anyway, I don't wanna go on about it. But yeah, it's not great, and I'm a bit under the weather anyway, so I sound a bit different. I do apologise. But how can I possibly wait for this rebuild to start until I feel better? I couldn't wait for the rebuild, and we start off with this. Rabiot, 2 bids here for our French midfielder. We turned down the one from AC Milan. I don't want to sell him to a division rival and strengthen a title rival for us this season, but I'm totally fine selling him to our former team Bayern Munich, like we did with Renan Lodi in the last episode. And our first signing of today's episode, and third of the window so far, is another freebie. Yeah, we brought in Bernardi, the young centre-half, but now Eduardo Bove, available on a free transfer after his release from Roma. 25 years old, 81 overall, and this is why I said in the last episode, guys, I know, you might have an amazing team. I know, you might have decent depth. I know, you might have a nice young core, but still check the free agents pool, because you just never know. 2 of our 3 signings are freebies. We got a great midfielder that could easily start in this team, and Bernardi, a 21-year-old centre-half, shows great potential. Both on frees. Absolutely brilliant little pickups here for our Italian core. But speaking of young players here, now I wasn't going to sell this guy initially, but when a bid came in, I thought, you know what? There's so many great young Italian defenders, so why not let him go? Yep, David Moyes comes in for one of our Spanish defenders, Andoni Prieto. He is a young Spanish centre-half, 21 years old, that can also play full-back as well. He looks pretty solid, to be fair, and he shows great potential as well, but I'm okay letting him go because there's so many good young Italian defenders, and I do want to build an Italian court here with Juventus, so I'm okay letting him go to the London Stadium there, and I'll look for a replacement for him that's better now, and he'll have decent potential as well. But in terms of signings, well, you see Ledesma about to leave to Torino. I said I'm going to need a new shot stopper in this team. Man, oh man. I mean, seriously, could there be anyone else? Now, I was very tempted to bring Lambert with me from Bayern to Juve, but I thought, you know, I'm trying to do things a little bit different in this career mode, not sign all the old players from my old teams. I signed no one from Nottingham Forest, so I don't want to sign anyone from Bayern Munich. So I thought, okay, I need a new goalkeeper. I want someone class, and of course, I'm building an Italian core. Can I find someone that meets all of that criteria? Ah, yes, you know I can. From AC Milan to controversially Paris Saint-Germain, but now back in Turin. Can't make that work. Back to Turin. Gianluigi Donnarumma is in as my big money signing to start this window off with Juventus for £111 million, and the Macedonian goalkeeper that was signed, I've got no interest in whatsoever. I've got my new man between the sticks, and is there anyone better in the game than this guy right now? And the perfect fit for the old lady as well. We needed a new class goalkeeper. We had 4, but no one's really that good. He was always going to be better than Dimitrievski, who came in from I don't know where he came from actually, from last season, but signed by the AI manager. But this guy, 92 overall, right now currently the highest rated goalkeeper in the game, and absolutely perfect. 6'5", great command of his area. Amazing shot stopper on his day. Yes, question marks can sometimes be asked of his kicking, his distribution, his composure, concentration in big games, but this guy was the hero in the Euros for Italy last year when they beat England on the penalty shootout. It remains one of the coldest football pitches I've seen in the last decade or so. If you've not seen it, I'll try and find a picture for it and put it on the screen right now. I'll put it in the description. He didn't celebrate when he saved a winning penalty, and he later said in an interview the reason was because he didn't realise that was the winner. He didn't realise that he'd just won the Euros at that point. I wish he never said that. I wish he would have kept that quiet. You know when sometimes players score a fluky goal from like a cross and it goes in and you know the interviewer says, did you mean to score? Were you going for a cross or was it a shot? And the player's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you that. Like Ronaldinho versus David Seaman, for example, way back in 2002, and I know I'm showing my age a little bit here, but Ronaldinho, I'm sure you've all seen the goal, Ronaldinho against David Seaman. You know, everyone has the debate. Did he mean it or was it an overhit cross? You know, as an Englishman, of course, I'm going to say it was an overhit cross and a fluke. But, you know, Ronaldinho would say, I ain't going to tell you that. You know, I wish Donnarumma would have said, oh, yeah, I knew I won the Euros. I just didn't feel the need to celebrate. I knew I'd just become a hero for my nation, but I didn't feel the need to celebrate. I wish he would have said that because it's such a cold picture. But even so, he is in for £111 million and at 92 overall, 28 years old. I mean, you saw how crucial Lambert was to me for my success last year. Golden Glove win in the Bundesliga, man of the match in the Champions League final in our 3-0 win over Liverpool. He saved some brilliant shots in that final as well. You know, if you want to win the elite trophies, you need a secure shot stopper. You can't win it without a guy that can bail you out when your defense get breached. Lambert was that guy last season. Donnarumma, I'm confident, will be this year at 92 overall. So Rabiot goes to Bayern Munich, and I make my third signing of today's episode. Fagioli is back in Turin. Yes, obviously I was linking up with him in the Burnley team last year in my player career mode. Last season he was playing behind me in CAM and it was really good for me at Burnley. Obviously I've moved on now to Benfica, spoilers for those who haven't caught up yet, but even so, Fagioli, great young talent, came through the Juventus academy, moved on to Leipzig, but I got him back for £50 million. You know, like with Bayern Munich last season, I said that I didn't want to sell the players sign the players from my old team, as Prieto does go here to West Ham, but I do want to sign back the players that had left. So we bought back Gravenberch, you know, last season. We bought back, who else did we bring back? We bought back Gravenberch. Who else did we bring back last season? We bought back a few players anyway. Oh, Musiala came back as well. But you know, I want to do the same with Juve. Like, you know, some of their really good young players left. Like Moretti's gone, for example. Fagioli left. He's one of their highest potential youngsters. Of course, I'm going to bring them back. So, yep, he is back at £50 million, 85 rated. I've got to say, possible captain, fan favourite. He's already got a cap for Italy now as well. Fair play to the kid. Coming out of the academy for Juve, already capped by Italy. But definitely thinking maybe captain here with Juve. Because at the moment, I don't know who will be captain. Araujo's got it, but personally, I think maybe Fagioli, you know, out of the academy, I think that'll work quite well for me. But even so, yeah, he is in, and I'll make my next signing straight afterwards as well. Yeah, here with Juventus, I said we've got a lack of depth, especially in midfield and in defence as well. At right back, major lack of depth, I would say, and a major concern there too. Conrad Lehmer's been filling in there at right back, but there's no real official starting right back, so I thought, why not get the best young Italian in the game? Well, you know, alongside Calabria as well, I would say, AC Milan. Samuel Birendelli. Yep, from Monza, we are bringing him in, and this is a brilliant signing here. For just over the valuation, £30 million, 28 years old, in the prime of his career right now, and 83 rated as well. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that Conrad Lehmer is one of my favourite players in the game. So I still might start the Austrian, but Birendelli coming in, that was always going to be one of my main targets this summer because we don't have a proper, you know, official right back here. We've got a youngster, but he's also a left footer as well. So we want a good official player that's in their prime right now as a right back. Birendelli is that guy. Perfect signing for us. And 30 mil as well from Monza. That's an absolute bargain there. So, following that, you see Gudmundsson, he goes to Lille for 37.5 mil. It's funny, you got like no right backs here, but tons of left backs. So we've got like Luke Thomas. You know, we've got Gudmundsson who's just gone as well. But yeah, he's gone to Lille, and I would prefer a new starting left back that is Italian as well. There are a few that we could get. Pellegrini, Parisi, but this was the one I wanted. Yeah, from Udinese to Spurs in the summer. Apparently he's had a major potential upgrade on one of the more recent patches. Not on the one I'm playing in, but he's a heck of a young talent. Yep, Antonio Conte signed him for Spurs, then loaned him back to Udinese straight away. But we're going to bring him from North London back to Italy here at Turin. Destiny Udogie. I think he's of Nigerian heritage, but he's an amazing young left back that I think Italy will want to have in their national team for the years to come. He's an amazing young left wing back, man. 82 overall, 24 years old. He's absolutely rapid, as we know. Offers a lot when going forward as well. And to be fair, for the fee we paid as well, it's once again a really, really good deal. 5 years, 56 grand a week, and Udogie's in. We got enough left backs here. I mean, we just sold Gummerson, yes, but you know, Luke Thomas is still here. We got enough left backs here, but to me, like he was the one I really, really wanted, because at 24 years old, he's still going to get better. He offers a lot when going forward, and Udogie is like Conte's perfect style of player, which means he's my perfect style of player. You know, a player who plays on the flank, that's got a ton of energy, that can offer something when going forward, is, you know, decent enough defensively as well, but just runs for days. I mean, he just absolutely runs for days. Amazing effort, amazing work rate, amazing source of energy as well. You know, obviously with Inter Milan, you know, obviously Perisic came with Conte to Spurs for this season, and you know, one of the reasons why he wanted him is because, well, he just fits Conte's system like a glove. You know, he really, really does. And you'll notice with me, I'm the absolute same. Like, I am the absolute same. For me, in fact, I discussed this not too long ago in a recent episode. Like, for me, nowadays, modern day fullbacks, they have to be wing-backs. The days of the Tony Hibbert, for example, I mean, listen, Everton fans will always defend the guy till death, don't get me wrong, you know, for all the games, never scored a single goal professionally, and then scored a free kick in his testimonial. It's like the most Tony Hibbert thing ever. But, you know, Tony Hibbert, days of Tony Hibbert have gone. Like, I hate to say it, but they've gone. Like, so nowadays, if you want to be a fullback, and I'm in an elite fullback, you've got to offer something going forward. And also, if you're playing a 3 at the back system or a 5 at the back system, you've got to be adept at playing 90 minutes without losing energy, because all game long you are going to be worked to the bone. So someone like Perisic is perfect for an Antonio Conte system, so he would be for me as well. So someone like Udogie also fits me like a glove as well. Rapid, very good going forward, can create a lot, a little bit solid defensively, could still get a little bit better, but still reasonably solid defensively. But again, high work rates, young, and bags and bags and bags of energy. So Udogie in as my new starting left back, Birindelli in as my new starting right back, and alongside Araujo with Donnarumma coming in between the sticks, I thought we're just missing one final piece in the jigsaw puzzle that is our backline. Who was I going to bring in with the money we had? Stand up, step in, Alessandro Bastoni. Yep, moved on from Inter Milan. We've brought him back to the Serie A. I'd spent a lot of money to get him, over £100 million to bring him back to the Serie A, but one of the best centre-halves in the game. 28 years old, in the prime of his career, 90 overall, and can still get better as well. Yeah, this was why I was fine selling that young Spanish regen to West Ham, because we got Bernardi in. There's a couple more decent young Italians I could bring in for a cheap fee as well. But we need first-team quality as well as young talent as well if we're going to win the Serie A. And I've talked about it before. One of the reasons why the Serie A has gained so much popularity over the past few years is because it's become a lot more competitive now. I say it all the time. The Serie A, it's like 6 teams can win it now. It's fantastic. I love it. I really, really do. But yeah, to me, if we want to win the Serie A, win the Coppa Italia, and reach final Champions League, we need more first-team quality. We didn't have it in this backline. We certainly have it now. Alessandro Bastoni in at 90 overall. I'm buzzing with that. So following that, Hadjam goes to Levante for 8.5 mil. You would have seen we negotiated a deal for Curtis Jones here from Leeds United with Jesse Marsh. I think I'm going to undersell him. 45 mil. I think I could have got more for Curtis Jones. Obviously, moving on from Nottingham Forest to this Juventus team for last season. Obviously, he was a bit of a fan's favourite, a bit of an unsung hero in my Nottingham Forest team. Don't get me wrong. He was amazing in our treble-winning season as well. Scored some really crucial goals. But I said, not sure about his long-term future. I'm okay letting him go back to England. A little bit more realistic for a destination, I would say. But I'd show this as well. How about this? West Ham putting him in for Fofana. And, you know, I bemoan the lack of realism in the transfer market in FIFA CM. And I say it all the time. I can do very little about that. I can only do my very best with what I'm working with my one club, be it with sale destinations and signings. Hence why I'm pleased to see Luke Thomas go back to England for 18.5 mil to Bournemouth and Curtis Jones go to Leeds for 45 million. But David Moyes tried to give me Prieto back a week after he signed him from me. What? Like, it makes absolutely no sense, and I say it all the time. People talk about the realism in career mode, and they say all the time, like, man, like, it's so unrealistic after, like, literally 2 transfer windows. There's very little we can do about it. Like, there's very little I can do about it in my saves to influence it. All I can do is work with my club. I can't do anything about that. Like, West Ham signed Prieto from me. I like that. Young Spanish defender going to play on David Moyes. They just signed Scamacca, of course, young Italian forward this year. But, like, they just gave it. They wanted to give him back to me, like, a week later in exchange for Fofana. It's like, what? Like, it makes literally no sense, man. But even so, following that there, I rejected that bit of course there. You would have seen the sales go through for Jones and Luke Thomas. Well, I was going to need a new backup striker. Obviously, Vlahovic, the Serbian tank, will be starting in this team. The former Fiorentina striker is too good. But, well, if you're watching my player save right now, you'll know how much I'm loving this guy. He is my guy. He is my bro in the Benfica team. Yep, I'm bringing him back to Juve. Academy graduate, moved on to Lazio, but now back in Turin for £75 million. My boy Moise Kean is back in Turin, and no doubt about it, will be a backup in this team. I could possibly have him as an inside forward on the wing. Obviously, in the My Player Save with me right now, the gaffer at Benfica is playing him slightly deeper as a CAM, whilst I'm leading the line in a 4-2-3-1. But our CMs are deep. They're natural CMs. We ain't got like a proper out-and-out attacking midfielder like we did at Nottingham Forest or at Bayern Munich. So obviously, with that in mind, he'd be wasted at CM, obviously. So we could play as an inside forward on the left. I prefer Chiesa on the left. I like Bergwijn on the right as well. So Kean to me will be my impact sub coming off the bench for Vlahovic when the Serbian just isn't cutting it. So, man, oh man, what an episode today for the rebuild with all the transfers. We culled so much Deadwood and seniors and the young talent we brought in. I love it. I absolutely love it. A crazy amount of money getting spent, but every single signing brought in this episode and the last, 9 new arrivals to the window so far, all Italian. We're bringing back the former Juve players, Kean, Fagioli. We're bringing in some Italian stars, Bastoni, Donnarumma. The only concern remains to be the depth. But we've still got a little bit of money remaining. And with a couple weeks to go before the transfer window does open, there is still time to make 1 or 2 more signings with £83 million. A crazy rebuild today, but we're not done yet. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. Big fan for watching the rebuild. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. Once again, sorry if I don't sound very great today, but I'll see you in the next episode of Career Mode, hopefully back to full health very soon.